since about 4, so it rained for about 4 hours straight. Back when it was 50 degrees, and it slowly got colder and colder. So tomorrow, when I do this 24-hour survival $10 dollar store challenge, I have to make a fire. It's going to be interesting. It is 11 a.m. It's 18 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't know what that is in Celsius, maybe 5 below, something like that. And I'm going to do the $10 survival challenge. It's a lot of different names. There's the dollar store challenge, the survival challenge, stuff like that. I am at the Dollar Tree right here in Andover, Minnesota, close to where I live. And this challenge was put forth by Wranglerstar. I think it was a year or two ago, something like that. One of the big YouTubers, and there's been a few people do it. So I thought I'd give it a try. Basically, I have to spend $10 before tax. So it goes over $10, that's okay, as long as it, the subtotal is 10. You have to make 2 meals. I have to make a shelter. I have to make a fire, and I have to have some sort of light source. And hi, and some sort of light source, and let's see what else. Oh, everything has to be waterproof. So I have to, everything that I get has to be able to submerge in water for 60 seconds at least. So I have some ideas of things that I'm going to get. Oh, here we go. Drop cloth, 9 feet by 12 feet, 0.7 mil thick. So that's the size of a thickness of a garbage bag. So the knives, what I'm looking for is I want full tang, which I don't think that's it. That's not it. Those aren't it. Let's see. Ah, that's full tang. How thick is it? That looks pretty good. Okay, well, that's what I'll get. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. This one I want right here. Bread pan. These things are built to go in the oven, so that should be fine. Gallon bags. Okay. Now I have, let's see. Everything here is $1, so it's pretty easy to figure out the math. So I have drop cloth, knife, this bread pan, and this is $4. Oh, aha, my man. Yep. 3 lighters, that's what I need, thank you. We'll get this red Christmas color. Unless I I don't know if that'll fit in there. Let me see something here. Oh yeah. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is the thickness of the blade here versus the thickness of this folding knife blade. You can see this. Put it over here. It looks like it's like twice as thick. I am going to get this instead. Put that away. This looks interesting. What do we have here? Cookie tin. Let's see. Danish style butter cookies. It's taped, so it looks like it's made of tin. I will get these. It's another metal container just in case. So. Let's see the flashlights. Well, shoot. They look pretty sad. Should have done that at the beginning. Okay, now I can go look. There it is. There's the one, right there. Flashlight. That's what I wanted, right here. There it is, okay. Doesn't run out of battery, that's perfect. Drop cloth, 1. Knife, 2. Cookies with a tin. Hopefully there's some sort of paper or something in there. 3. Storage bags with a slider. 4. Bread pan. 5. Flashlight. 6. This weird corded. 7. Lighters. 8. 2 more things. Now, I'm not going to get water. There's no reason to get water when there's snow out there. So I have 2 more things. That means I'm going to get 2 food items. Do you guys got any discount stuff that's ready to go? Sometimes I find stuff that's like super cheap. No?
You mean like on the like sometimes on like damaged product or whatever?
Yeah, it's like at the front door sometimes.
Yeah, no.
Nope. All right.
No, yeah, sorry.
Right on. You know what? Beef barley soup. Let's do that. All right, looks good. It's time to ring this stuff up. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm allowed to go over $10 with the tax. It's kind of hard to avoid the tax.
$10.50.
$10.50. All right. Oh, because the food items don't have tax on them.
Right.
That makes sense. There we go. Thank you. Dun, 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 dun. And I get some change. That's good stuff. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
It looks like some people have been here. South Sand Dunes Forest Road, State Forest Land. All right, I'm getting everything set up here. It is 12:41, 16 degrees. And what I'm doing now is I'm making sure that my phone is charged up 100%. I do have a backup battery, but I want to make sure it's at 100% before I start this thing. A couple things I wanted to go over. Since I'm, recording this, I am bringing some recording equipment. So, recording with my phone. I'm also bringing my Verb Ultra 30 action camera. I'm bringing batteries and stuff like that. Putting all that stuff, like a tripod and junk to a bendy thing. All that stuff is going to go in this small bag that has a strap on it here. And I'm also bringing, just for safety's sake, I don't think I'll use it, just a basic first aid thing, a Band-Aid with a little, ace bandage and stuff like that. I'll bring another Band-Aid too. That's it as far as extra stuff. My clothing, I'm wearing my turtleneck. Underneath that is a long sleeve green, just like a thermal type shirt. I'm wearing my belt. I'm wearing a pair of like long underwear, but long john bottom pants, and then my just regular pants, 2 pairs of wool socks, and my Magnum boots, which I really like. I'm wearing these gloves here, which are pretty thick, leathery type gloves with an inside glove too. Gonna wear a balaclava, which I normally don't wear, but it's just basically a hood that covers your whole head except for an area around your eyes and maybe my nose. And then I'm gonna wear my wool overcoat here that's long. And so that's what I'll be wearing. I mean, oh, and a scarf. Where's my scarf? Back here. I'll be bringing my scarf too around my neck just to stay warm. But I'm excited for this. This is a whole different deal. Give me an idea here. I'll step out of the car. I'll show you what I'm working with here. Going to wide view here. So you can see. Now I'm not going to go back there. I think what I'll do is up here there's a little path, and I'm going to go up here. You can see those big huge pines and everything. I could go down here to these, but I think I'm going to go up here to these because there seems to be some good stuff up there. The challenge for me is going to be making a fire. I've never made a fire in these conditions. In fact, I've never made a fire outdoors. I mean, with just a lighter and some wood. It's never happened. I've always had some sort of fire starter type stuff or whatever. A shelter I'm not too concerned about. It seems like back in these trees, there's not much wind. There's a lot of wind now, you can see, but if I get back in the trees, it'll block the wind pretty good. Unless I have this drop cloth, that'll be fine. Let me get back in here. And, oops. Everything should be good to go, but right now I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I got about 5% left to go on my phone battery, and then I can head out. All right. All right, everybody. It's 1 o'clock. As you can see, I'm leaving the car, packing everything up. Let's go like this here. Put this thing here. Put this up here. Bag of supplies up here. Lock the door. And then head out here. All right, here we go. A little bit after 1 o'clock. Taking my bag of stuff. As you can see, it's pretty dang cold. Car's locked up. Nope, that side's not locked up. Better lock that up. Locked up. Time to go. So, I'm going to try to avoid using the C word, and by C word I'm referring to the temperature, because I don't really want to think about the temperature, but this is beautiful. I'm gonna go down that path and see what I can see. All right, so I'm in this stand of coniferous trees, pines or whatever, and you can see that the lower branches have all been broken off or just snapped off or fallen, which is really nice because there's a lot of fallen stuff here I could use to make a fire, which is great. Over here you have some good sticks I can gather. There's some other big logs there. All right, so I think I figured out what I'm gonna do. Right there between this tree and this tree, I'll make my little raised bed there first. Clear all this out. have to be perfect. So, first one right here. And another one right there. Okay, see if I can find another one. Whew, see if I can find another one. Okay, so these are gonna roll a little bit. I'm gonna have to put some stakes down to catch on the inside here. So, since there's so many little pieces like this, it won't take much. So, keep these from rolling. There's another one. Break it off. I'm just gonna jam this down here like this. There we go. I'll get another one too. Now, one thing, I don't want to get too warm. So I am going to take this scarf off, and I'm probably going to take other items off little by little because I don't want to get too warm. I don't want to get sweaty. So now that I have my, let's get in closer here. Now that I have my little base, my two end boards, then I can lay down my planks down there, my little longer ones, which, as you can see, are going to be pretty easy to find because they're all hanging off these trees. There's so many on the ground too, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and set up for later. So for my mattress, I've decided that the best thing to do for comfort is to get some of these skinny, they look like saplings, but you know, there's ones falling like this. Get these things. Get a bunch of them, a whole bunch of them. They're thin, but they're strong, and if I get a lot of them, stack them up, that'll be a great mattress, and it'll be really nice to have that sort of cushion. Got a bunch of these things here. So I'm gonna pick out the thickest ones that seem like they'll work, and the other ones I'll put over there. So they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be able to hold me. If they're too long, I'll break them off a little bit. That's okay. You can use them as kindling. So now, go get a bunch more. All right, I'm starting to get real warm, so I'm gonna take this overcoat off and hang it up on one of these built-in coat hangers. And I'm getting condensation on my balaclava, so take this off too. Last thing I want is moisture in here. I don't want it to freeze. So I'm just going to take that off and I'm going to cool down a little bit. All right, so I'm going to work like this for a while. I don't want to get sweaty. That's the wrong thing to do. So I'm going to work like this for a while and set up what I have and see if that'll be enough, and then maybe put some of this duff on there. I'm gonna have to use I'm gonna have to snap these between the two trees here. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I wanted to show you, I guess I'll bring this over here and do it. So some of these ones that I got are just too big. So, and my cutting tool, I haven't even gone through my pack yet. I'm just doing things I can do without my pack. Well, my cutting tool is a small knife. And with this wood so cold, I don't think I'll be able to baton that well. So what I'm going to do is split it with this thing here. One of the techniques that I saw that I kind of like. So let me get this set up here. See if you can see it. There we go. Up like that. See if that'll stay. And let's put this piece in between and snap it. Let's see. I want 2 good pieces out of this, so go like this, and it's going to snap on this side as far as I understand. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit, and there we go. Okay, so now I have 2 good pieces. Cool. Maybe one more run and I should be good. Let's see here. This bed doesn't have to be, you know, perfect. It just has to be, it really just, these pieces here just have to be sturdy enough to support the next layer. And it has to be inside a little bit. So let me scoot these back like this. Now this piece here, I don't know if I'm gonna end up using it, but maybe I will. I'll just scoot it like this. So yeah, so this is about right. Maybe a couple smaller pieces on top, and then I might put one more beam in the middle to support it. That's what I'll probably do. Cool. So I found this one here, it's almost a perfect length, and I'm gonna put that in the middle just to add some more support. Now, I'm making this raised to trap air underneath. I want it to have as much air underneath as, you know, reasonable. I'm not gonna make this thing 10 feet off the ground, but I want it to give some sort of support. So let's see here. Now this is just to catch it if it falls. So that should be fine. It's not very balanced, but that's all right. So let's see here. Let me put this piece over here. And granted, this is my first time doing this, so everything's gonna be a little out of whack. I get a couple more pieces. There we go, that part will work good right there. There, that'll work. Should be pretty good. Get a couple more pieces and set it up. So I'm just about done with this bed. Kind of happy about it. Should hold me pretty good. May not be the most comfortable thing in the world, but I think with all the stuff. Now you can see I put a little center beam there to kind of hold it up because these were kind of sagging and I didn't want to mess around. I see some videos, some people out there doing it where they have saws and hatchets and axes and whatnots. I don't have any of that stuff, so I'm just going to go with what I have. Now, as far as I can tell, it's duff time. I'm just going to pile this pretty high. The cross beam's going to go up about here, maybe a little lower. And all I want is enough room to lay down. If I'm awake and I have a fire going, I'm not really worried about staying, you know, that warm if I'm already awake. So all these little pieces here are going to go on top. Now, yeah, there's snow on this, but I'm not really worried about it. Get all these big pieces out. Not really worried about it because this area here is where I'm going to clear out for a fire. So I'm going to have to dig down here anyway. So I might as well put all this stuff on here. All right, looks like it's, for the most part, looks like it's good. Now, I like sleeping on my left side. So, clear out some of this stuff here. I'm gonna wanna bank this up a little bit. I like to have a little bit of a pillow. I'll probably end up sleeping just on my back. So when I sit on it, I gotta be sure to sit in the middle. I have to do kind of like, oh, that's good. Oh, that is nice. Time to go over my gear. Some editing. All right, so 2 bags. First thing that I'm going to need immediately is this cordage, because the little cross beam I put up there already fell down, so I'm going to need to cut that. Here's my ramen soups. Now, some of this stuff, here's the knife here, here's the drop cloth, cookies, lighters. I was 50-50 on these, lighters or matches. I figured I'd go with lighters because I'm more familiar with them. This thing's cool. It's a flashlight that if it runs out, you just go like that to charge it. Pretty cool. Now my bread pan, it's meant to be in a hot environment, so it'll be fine in the fire. My pull top, hearty Kitchen Classics beef barley soup, delicious. And hefty storage bags, the freezer bags, and a receipt, kindling. So first thing I got to do is get this cordage. Now all these little pieces of paper I'm going to put in the bag for kindling. It's just regular paper, so I'm not going to waste anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut some pieces as I use them. That way I don't, use too much or too little. I have, I believe, 50 feet. That should be plenty. Now to get this knife out, well, I guess the easiest way is to just poke the blade through like that. Just be careful. There we go. Ugh, don't want that. Okay, already I can tell there's going to be an issue with this knife. Let me show you here. So I'm right-handed, right? Now you can see the blade. This side here is where the grind is. Now it's serrated, which is fine with me. I don't care. This is where the grind is. There's no grind on that side. I'm right-handed. So that means that when I'm shaving wood or whatever I'm doing, actually that's not bad. I would prefer it to be this way, but I'm right-handed, so it's this way. So I got to come in at it at a different angle. Oh well. I like it. Let's see how sturdy it is. Well, when it's folded, it's pretty sturdy. When it's there, there's a little wiggle. You can't really see it, but it seems pretty sturdy. I'll try batoning with it, all that later. The blade is short, which I'm okay with because it's thick. It was thicker than the other blades, and that's one thing going in I was worried about. All right, so one of the things I'm doing here is at first I had this beam behind here. That doesn't make much sense. So I'm putting it this way, where this is very sturdy here, and that one over there is sturdy too. But I'm still going to lash it up with this. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I really don't care as long as it works, I think that's the main point, is as long as it works, it doesn't really matter. All right, seems to look okay. I mean, it's wiggling because it's not tied in over there, but it's pretty sturdy. Sturdy enough to hold some support beams going back like that. All right, so that's on there. That doesn't look the prettiest, but so what? So I checked the time a while ago. It's probably about 2:30 right now, so I got maybe 2 hours left. You can see the sun right there. Cool. All right, well, I ended up sacrificing a pine tree. I did it. I had to do it. I couldn't find any pine boughs that were fallen. I'm not going to go digging through snow, and I need these things for insulation on my shelter. So I didn't put the plastic down on the bed because it's just so flimsy
as soon as I wiggle around one time, it's just going to rip a million holes in it. So I think that I'll just go without the plastic, and you know, my overcoat's pretty good insulated, so it should be fine. Finishing up the final touches on this thing. I'm not going to get too crazy with you know, putting these slats on the back. I'm just going to put some pine boughs interlaced in between, and that's it. And then some pine boughs on the side. I actually do want a little airflow here, because otherwise, mistake I made. The wind's coming from that direction. Now it could change, so maybe it's a mistake now, but it'll be okay later. So it's kind of like parachuting this thing. I'm going to build a firewall here after I'm done doing the final touches on the side and the back of the shelter. And then once that's done, then I'll build a fire and settle in. As you can see, it's getting pretty late, so I have no idea what time it is. My guess is 3:30, which means the sun will set in an hour or so. Building a firewall shouldn't be too hard. There's a whole lot of these big logs just sitting around. All I have to do is put 4 posts in and build that up, and then make a fire. So you can see how nice it is out here. I am so fortunate to have this fresh snowfall last night, and to have the temperature be cold enough to keep the snow on the ground. Anyway, I got to get to it. Okay, well, I've decided that this is going to be good enough for my shelter. I might do some final tinkering back here to kind of tuck that in. But honestly, I'm fine with it. As long as it'll protect me from any sort of snow that'll come down. I mean, I am in this open area here. I looked up there. I don't really see anything leaning or anything bad. You know, it looks pretty good. This tree here, I don't think it's going to fall. And this one's not going to fall. So I don't know. If it does, it does. It's not very sturdy. It's not very permanent. It's extremely temporary. And, you know, I'm about 2.5, almost 3 hours into this. And I feel like I have to move on to the next step, which is build a firewall, which should be fairly easy, and then build a fire and settle in, go around and collect some snow, melt some snow for some water. I know it's not going to be pretty, but it's what I'm going to have to do. If there is time before I make a fire, I might go down to Larson Slough and see if I can, you know, dip all this stuff in the in the Ziploc bag or whatever I have, the freezer bag. So I just see if it's waterproof. This thing, it doesn't matter if it's in a bag or not. It's waterproof. So at any rate, I want to make the firewall first, then probably run out there, do some stuff, and then come back, get some wood, and make a fire. All right, everybody. I have to go get some water, and I'm not going to get it from the snow here. I'm going to go walk down the little dirt path, little dirt road a little bit, see if I can get to the Larson Slough. And I'm taking both of my bags from the store. I'm taking my bread pan and taking 3 of the freezer bags down there. I'm going to use the bread pan to scoop out the water, pour it in the freezer bags, seal them up, and put those in the grocery bags to carry them back. There is my firewall. It's about 1.5 feet high. You know, it's firewall. So I'm going to put the fire here. It's not going to be a huge fire, and I don't want to make it too big because, look, I just don't want there to be any accidents or anything like that. But I got to admit, I'm super excited. I think it's about 4 o'clock right now. And all right, time to start walking down the path here. Whew. All right, everybody. I'm leaving most of my stuff here. You see my camp is pretty much made for the most part. I got my little firewall here. It's my first time making one. Turned out okay. I don't have any worry about it falling or breaking or anything like that or catching on fire. I'm going to build a little fire down there, maybe a foot by a foot, 1.5 feet, 2 feet by 2 feet, something like that. Maybe not even that big. And I'm very happy with my bed. Not very happy with my shelter. That thing took a lot more effort than I thought. I think the main problem was the lack of available, easily gettable, tall, skinny trees over here. Now you're looking at them and thinking, oh, but there they are right there. Well, I'm in a conundrum here because this is a fake survival situation. I don't need to come out here to survive. So if I want to, you know, I feel weird about cutting some of those trees down with my little knife. Now, I did use my knife to cut like branches off a little bit, but I didn't really want to cut whole trees down. It just didn't seem necessary. It seemed unnecessary for what I'm doing. So if it were a real survival situation, heck yeah, then I would do it, but it's not a real situation. All right, turn this off till we get to the water. All right, so I'm here at the Larson Slough, which was, I don't know, quarter mile, maybe half a mile walk from my camp. You can see there's footsteps there. You can also see there's little animal tracks there too. So that actually wasn't that hard. Now I didn't fill it all the way up. You can see there's a little air there. So it's grimy in there and all that, but when I boil it, it should be all right. And I can kind of filter it and, you know, pour it out slowly. But I'm going to do the 2 other bags and then load them up into these store bags and then head back. As you can see, I think it's pretty easy, but I got to do it with 2 hands. So I think I don't think I'll need to put all my gear into one of these bags to prove that it's waterproof. You can see that that could fit in here. You know, I know it's part of the challenge and all, but it's going to be real hard to dip that, dunk it all. All right, so you can see, holding it upside down, it's waterproof. So if it's waterproof on the inside, it's waterproof on the outside. So anyway, I'm going to put these back, head back to camp and make a fire and boil this water up and hang out. And I got to warm up my phone. All right, so it's getting pretty dark. I believe it's like 5 o'clock right now. I'm heading back to the camp. I got water. Now the main thing is I have to find materials to make a fire. So I'm not going to say the C word as relating to temperature. I'll just say it's not warm. Although, to be honest, in the forest here, it's a lot warmer than out there on the dirt road. It's a lot more comfortable. Okay, I got to go set up everything and get a fire going. As you can see, the flashlight has 2 little bulbs or whatever. Now it has like a charging thing. So if it goes bad, if it goes dead, then you can just squeeze that thing and charge it up. And I need to process some of this wood with my knife. All right, hopefully you can see this here. So far, this little blade has been okay. I haven't done much with it, but what I want to do now with this pine, it's hard with the serrated edge, so I'm going to go up here to the non-serrated edge, and I just want some little shavings. Now I do have some paper and some cardboard and things like that that came with the packaging. That'll be fine, but I need something in between. I need some intermediary thing here. So one of the reasons I wanted this knife was so that I could push, you know, with my other thumb too. But I just felt like it wasn't a very good, it felt like the blades on those other ones weren't very good. Now this is a folding knife, I can actually feel it kind of moving. So I got to be very careful. I'm not asking too much of this knife, to be honest with you. It's not very sharp. I guess I kind of knew that going in. I'll just use a serrated edge and get these little curls. There we go. And like I said, the grind is backwards, I guess is the way to put it. It's only grind on one side. It's kind of a pain. So I am going to try to baton a little bit. So yeah. So holding it with my left hand and whacking the blade there with my right hand with this stick here, I can kind of baton it down. So I'm going to process this. I'm just holding this. Oh, my little stick broke. It's all right. It's going pretty good.
I just don't have a very good baton. So you know what I can use? I can use a soup can. So I'm going to stop because I can feel it really resisting. I take the blade out. It's a folding knife, so I don't want to be too rough with it. And it's very cheap. So put that away. I'm going to try to split this by hand. Shouldn't be a problem. There we go. Now you can see it's pretty clean. I think it's pine, some sort of coniferous tree. Now I'm going to try to split it again. Now, I don't want to be too rough with this knife. I mean, obviously it's not made for this kind of thing. So I want to go right down the middle, as close to the thing that I can. I'm just going to use this other piece that I just broke to go like this. Now this pine is a little curved. It's not straight, but look, there we go. Right down the middle and broke into little pieces. So maybe one more, and then that should be it for the good batoning demonstration. Now, this knife here, the blade, probably 2 inches, and it's very poor quality. It's stainless steel, but you can see the mechanism here, the little lock is pretty bad. All right, everybody, I just took a lighter out of this 3-pack, and this is the true test here. Let me see if there's a lock on it. Oh. If this lights, I'm good. If it doesn't light, I won't have a fire. Oh, looks good. It is looking good. Okay, so next step. I want to get some of this paper that I have here, this receipt and paper junk and all that, lighter wrapper, build my little bed here, my little fire bed, and make something out of this thing, make a good fire. Once I get a fire going, then I can actually add more wood and all that, and then boil some of this water, and then make a dinner. Let's see. Catching the paper. Come on, catch that paper. There we go. I catch this paper too. Ooh, that's hot on my thumb. All right, we might have something. Let's see. Burn the paper. Now catch those little pine twigs. If it catches the wood, here's something crappy. The lighter broke. Well, I guess when you buy bad, old, crappy, cheap lighters, they're bound to break. So I have 2 more. And the problem is, it's just not holding a fire. The paper is starting, but it's just not holding a fire. So I got to keep trying. Lighter number 2 just went out. Unbelievable. It's like the flint striking mechanism doesn't work right. So I'm on my last lighter, and I really got to take my time with this. So, all right, here's the update. I've gone through 2 lighters over here. I'm nursing this 3rd lighter, trying to get a fire. I've been working at it and working at it and working at it. I had one little twig that caught on fire, and then it just went out. I mean, I've really been trying hard here. The problem is I'm down to one lighter, so I gotta baby it. I mean, I got paper here. Paper. It's still not like it'll like catch like this, and then it'll just fizzle out. Now here I'll try to light this little twig, and it'll get like that, and it'll get nice. Get a nice little ember. Let's see if it actually starts on fire here. But I mean, this is it. If this lighter doesn't work, if it runs out of juice or it just doesn't work, I can't make a fire. And if I can't make a fire, I mean, I can try to go to sleep, but even then I'm not passing the challenge. I'm not rising to the challenge if I'm not making a fire. It looks like it's catching. See, it's like it gets a little ember, but it doesn't catch on fire. And I'm wondering if it's just so dry or so wet. See, now look, it's catching on fire, but then it goes out. Okay. All right, come on now. Okay, you got a little ember. Okay. Now let's put another something over here. Come on now. I'm gonna put something over here so catch. It's just there's just not enough small fuel, I guess, or whatever. Not really tinder, but there's just not enough accelerant. I looking back at it, I should have got some sort of candle or something, or even matches, because the good thing about matches is you can use the actual matches in the fire. Like, they will start on fire in the fire. I don't know what to do here. I mean, it's going to get colder, and I'm going to end up getting cold. God, I got to call it. I got to call it. If this, I'm going to try until this lighter poops out.
Well, it's 6:30, and I got to call it. I'm so frustrated. I can't. I tried everything. I can't make a fire, so I got to pack up my stuff. I'm just going to leave this. I'll come back to it maybe tomorrow, take it apart, or practice making a fire or something. What a shame, man. I really liked my bed. I had a nice little reflector here. For some reason, I had 3 lighters. Two of them just completely broke, and the third one melted part of the back, the part where you can increase and decrease the flame or whatever, so that it's way on a low flame. And I thought it was out of juice, but it's not. Anyway, it's a super bummer. The moon's about ready to come up. It's really quiet in the woods. It's really peaceful. But if I can't make a fire, I can't boil water. I don't know what I'll do. So I got to call it. I got to head back to the car and head home. It's a real bummer. Maybe, I guess the lesson I can learn here is, well, first of all, don't use cheap lighters. I'm not gonna discredit all lighters, but don't use cheap ones that are gonna break. And maybe matches are better because, you can actually place them in the fire and start. I mean, I had paper. I had paper from the receipt. I had paper. I had paper. I had paper. I had little wood that I processed. I had all kinds of stuff. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't stay. The flame wouldn't stay. A couple times I got like pine, little pine twigs to start, but they wouldn't stay. Maybe it's just the cold. I don't know. It wouldn't stay. I tried a lot. I tried everything, but I guess I can call it a failure because I didn't complete the entire challenge. Now, I'm not cold. I could bundle up and try to sleep, but what good would it do? I can't drink any water. The water's terrible. I can't eat any food. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to head back. I'm going to take the advice of one of the YouTubers that I watch, who says, there's no shame in heading home. There's no shame. If you can't make it, go back. So I can't make it. I bit off a lot, and I need to work on my fire making skills. So everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll try better next time.